Hi and welcome back to MDriven. Check out our beautiful new webpage, MDriven.net. It describes everything about system gist, the business specific knowledge that grows over time, and how that is tied into modernity, which is the technologies and the tools that you use and how they shift. And of course the fashion, which is very important to get user satisfaction and buy-in. So the gist evolves over time, and the modernity have quick shifts beyond your control, and fashion is even faster. So let's take a look at the new things that I want to talk about today. We're gonna go into the MDriven Designer. And of course you will find our wiki always helpful to, if there's something that you have a question about, you should check it out. It's really growing and getting very good. So I'm using the click once to start the MDriven Designer, and the new things that we have added is prototyping with MDriven Turnkey locally with IIS Express. We had this sort of before, but it has been updated. So now you can actually check if you have the IIS Express locally installed already. If you don't, you will get navigated to a page in our wiki, this one. It pops up and it says that it explains what IIS Express is, and that you probably got here from MDriven Designer, and how you can download the IIS Express from Microsoft. And once you have done that and installed it, I'm gonna pick the English US. Doesn't really matter. And then you would run it and follow the instructions. And what will happen if you have IIS Express installed is that this button turns green. Now we're gonna check for MDriven Turnkey. That's a separate application, and this button downloads it for you, and then it unzips it, so it will be completely installed by just clicking this button. I suggest that you click the button at least once a week so you don't run on old stuff. You don't have to click it every time you run, just when you want to refresh. This is the location where the application will have been installed. And now we just need to press Start MDriven Turnkey on IIS Express, and what will happen is that it pops up a small command window that shows the IIS Express for us, and also it pops up the browser running the URL that we have decided upon. It's hard-coded to 8182. So now you have your application fully functional, and you can edit things and save them. Like this. So in all essential things, this is a fully functional web application that hasn't been deployed. It's just running on your local machine, and you could have multiple browsers pointing to the same application. Now I have one Edge and one Chrome. And if you change data in one application or form, it will propagate to the other one if you give it some time, about 8 seconds. Of course you could force it with a refresh or something like that, but 8 seconds is the interval that is expected for data to propagate between windows. So if we wait a bit, we should get the new details that I added in the other window about now. Yeah, okay. So what can we show you more? Well, it's all about design, really. We need to constantly update our views, of course, and I'm just gonna move a few things around to prove my point. And let's add something as well. I'm gonna move this one down. I'm gonna add what do I have? Let's add the grid. Got it, and make it bigger. So now I have added a few things, and we built in a function that detects if the local model is changed. So as long as you save it, you can go here and just simply refresh, and IIS Express will pick that up and restart the application internally. So it's really quick round trip if you do modeling changes. Like that. Moving on. So I will find a prototyping file next to my model, and let's see if I can get that running against the same file. This is the file name. I'm gonna copy that and make sure that I use the same. Okay, let's switch this to that. This will be easier when you're running a proper model, because the XML file will end up next to your model, and I'm running the example model that's in the internet cache, so it's complex path. And now I can see that it looks like the same data. So if I were to write hello there from VPF and save that, I would expect when I go back to view all things, I get hello there from VPF. And if I view one thing and change it to, well, hello back from Angular, save that, and I'll do a model refresh here to reload the file, because we don't have any automatic refresh on VPF. I can see it's the same. It is the same data. So that's pretty cool. That enables us to do a back office app with VPF, maybe richer in experience, and a web app that's really accessible from anywhere, but not breaking our back, keeping the same definition for these two. So okay, now it didn't show up in the web app because the web app hasn't been reloaded, and if I just save the model file, it will be picked up. Okay, so you get the drift, and of course this is for local prototyping or development, and once your application is ready, you just upload it. But speaking of developing, you will want to see the data that is actually accessible to your web app, and you can get the JSON for exactly the data that you see by just appending debug to the URL. This is the same for all turnkey views. So is this really true? 2, 3, 1. These are the objects. What if we were to change something here? Let's add a detail in VPF and say 4 and save, and also save the model to force the web app to pick up on the changes in the XML file, and then you would have the new object with force. Okay. You also want to check out the development page. This is local to your turnkey installation, and it helps you out to when you want to do view overrides to create your own HTML. It might, well, these names, it's all the data that's available, and the names are of course derived from the declarative view model, and all the binding expressions for Angular you will find here, and you can just copy paste them if you want, and tweak as much as you want. So that's the things for Angular, but of course you can also do the same thing for MVC. And if you think these expressions are too detailed, because they are detailed to pick up on enable and visible and states like that, you could reduce them to your liking, or change them any way you want. This is one app we did with view override. Some like a deck of cards, and it's used by a firm to implement a digital game instead of their ordinary card game. This is a interactive Gantt view. You can move around time slots and zoom in and zoom out. It's made with TypeScript, but heavily based on all the data from Turnkey, of course. This is like a Trello-like board, and these are all in the sample, so you can check them out for yourself. If I double click one of these, I should get a modal dialog to amend the values. This is a map, Google Map integrated, and when I click I get a new marker on the position. And this is of course objects defined by classes in the model. And if I change a value here, it switches the color. So check it out. Thank you for listening.